What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mags. So it's ended down at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1. And I've got to say, it's not looking great at the moment for us Newcastle United fans because the performances just don't seem to be going the way we want them to go at the moment. We're losing against teams or drawing against teams that we shouldn't be losing or drawing against. Of course, you know, games like the Everton game, the Brighton game, the Bournemouth game, the West Ham game just gone, the Crystal Palace game tonight. You know, we should have done something better in that game. We're trying to be too clever when we're going forward. We're trying to do 1-2 passes between, and the passes are coming short. They're not going to, they're either going too far or they're not coming short enough. It's just getting too complicated right now. We need to go back to the basics. We need to be focusing on what got we to the big game, what got we into that Champions League last season. So we need to be looking at what we did in that season to get into the Champions League football, and we're not doing anything like that. You know, we're not showing any of that ability. We were at a little point this season starting to get that momentum into it, but since we've come back off the international break and other times throughout the season, you can see it's lacking that consistency going forward. And it's a word that, you know, Eddie Howe has said is quite a boring word. You know, he doesn't want to mention it much, but we need to be seeing consistent performances going forward. And at the moment, we're not seeing that. But a 1-1 draw down at Selhurst Park, it's a point in the bag, but most people say it's 2 points dropped. And to be honest, I've got to be on that boat of it's 2 points dropped. Yes, we didn't have as many shots on target and as many shots in the game as what Crystal Palace did, but we should have at least been coming away with that win, especially with how much time was left on the clock in the game. We shouldn't have been allowing Munoz to get into the position that he did to get that equaliser like he did. And Munoz shouldn't have been on the field anyway to be able to do that after picking up 4 fouls against Newcastle United players in the game. We did see Isak go off on the 22nd minute of the game because Mitchell's foul on him. Of course, so that might have changed things, which it did in my opinion. Changed the way the game played, because that meant that then we had to have Anthony Gordon playing as the striker, which obviously he's not a natural striker. He's able to play there, but he's not a natural. So maybe he's, instead of Eddie Howe going with Harvey Barnes to replace Isak, he should have maybe went with Callum Wilson. I can see probably why he didn't go with Callum Wilson. The fact that, you know, Wilson's only just came back off a massive long injury hiatus, so obviously that's one of the reasons why Eddie didn't go with him. But then to wait until the 75th minute when we were 1-0 up as well, to be bringing on some fresh legs and then to bring on Longstaff and Wilson on the 75th minute, was just beyond a joke in my opinion. Now don't get us wrong, that's not like a major criticism towards Eddie Howe, but he does need to be bringing substitutes on a lot sooner than the 75th minute mark, especially when we are leading the game. If we had scored another goal in that game, yes, we didn't score the first goal, it was a Guehi own goal, but if we had got another goal in that game, then that could have put the game to bed. The Munoz goal wouldn't have mattered because we would have ended up finishing out the game at a 2-1 win against Palace. But anyway, looking at it, looking at where we are on the table, if we continue to perform like this and we continue to keep losing points against teams like Palace, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, it's going to cost where we want to be, which is in Europe. We are currently on 19 points with 13 games played. The closest team for Europe is Nottingham Forest on 22 points. So we're quite a bit off there. For the Champions League spots, we're a little bit off as well on that. So we definitely need to be picking up these results. We've got a challenging game coming up next, which is, of course, against Liverpool, who are, at the moment, sitting high in the Premier League with 31 points out of 12 games played. So hopefully we can be the spanner in the works for Arne Slot's side, and hopefully we can show, you know, the Newcastle United that we've seen when we got ourselves back into Champions League football for the first time since the 02-03 campaign. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about the performance tonight. Like I say, it wasn't great when you look at the stats, you know, and the passing is very loose. The players' ball control is very loose as well. They need to be tighter with the ball, and they need to, you know, get them passes pinpoint accurate as well, because it's just not working at the moment. Things aren't working the way we want them to work. So that's something that Eddie Howe's going to have to work with the lads on pretty hard and pretty fast, because it's just not going the way we want to at the moment. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Away the lads.